A silly boy naps by his flowers. It is quite likely that he tired himself out with a variety of silly antics, as silly boys are often known to do. He may have a silly name, too, or maybe not. It is hard to say for sure without asking him, but since he's slumbering peacefully, it would be a shame to wake him up. You may as well just give him a name right now. Farmstink Buttlord. I guess his name is Farmstink. You try to rouse Farmstink from his slumber, but he is really down for the count. It looks like he is holding some sort of note. Retrieve arms from... They're right there, in plain sight. Look, they're flashing red. Drop the pumpkin on Farmstink. What pumpkin? You see no pumpkin, and frankly, it is hard to imagine there ever was a pumpkin, in plain sight or otherwise. Anyway, that would be a really terrible thing to do to poor sweet Farmstink.
Farmstink. That is incredibly silly and a little bit rude. My name is...
Jude Harley. Your name is Jude. You've just woken up from a restful nap, and as usual, you have no recollection of having fallen asleep. You have quite a number of interests. So many, in fact, you have trouble keeping track of them all, even with an assortment of colorful reminders on your fingers to help you sort out everything on your mind. Nevertheless, when you spend time in your garden atrium, the only thing on your mind is your deep passion for horticulture. What will you do? Jude, play a silly flute refrain. Wow, you really suck at this thing. Maybe you should try playing an instrument you actually know how to play instead, like the one in your bedroom. Honestly, you have no idea where this flute even came from. Things seem to appear and disappear around here all the time, especially, to your unending chagrin, any sort of large orange gourd that might be lying around. You consider throwing the flute down in disgust. On second thought, it was a perfectly good flute and there's no reason to take your frustration out on it. You just need some practice. But before you catalog the flute, you will need to set your fetch modus first. You have a wide variety of fetch modi to choose from. You were really excited when your grandma bought you this modus set for Christmas. She's a total badass, even if a little strict. You typically opt for the memory modus when it comes to matters of day-to-day practicality. You set your modus to memory and catalog the flute. You allot 9 cards to the modus from your deck, since that will be more than enough for your needs at the moment. The modus grabs 9 more cards for matching purposes. The flute is split up on 2 blank cards and mixed randomly into the grid. To retrieve the item, you must first pick one card and then pick its matching card. For the typical Silodexer, this modus presents a frustrating guessing game and a lot of wasted time on mismatching, but you like it because you seem to have a knack for always guessing right on the first try. Jude, squeal like a piglet and fertilize some plants. It is an awfully silly idea, and is basically a waste of everyone's time. You will predictably disregard this thought and focus on more sensible objectives at once.
Oh my god, this is so much fun!
You catalog the bag of fertilizer. Jude, consult colorful reminders. You tend to have a lot of things on your mind at once, and you can be a little forgetful, so you keep a variety of colored strings on your fingers as reminders. Each one means there is something different to remember at a certain time. In fact, looking at your index finger reminds you that there is something important to remember. It is your friend Joan's birthday. The green string reminds you that Joan's birthday package will arrive today. The blue string also reminds you that Joan's birthday package will arrive today, though in a way that means something slightly different. You are further reminded that you have some things to do outside your house soon, but you should stop by your room first for some supplies, and most importantly, to see if Joan is online and wish her a happy birthday. Jude, capsulog the pumpkin growing next to you. You snap up that pumpkin, which seems suitably ripe for the taking. Hopefully, the safety of your Silodex will prevent it from being spirited away like so many of its ephemeral predecessors. You make your way to the middle of the garden atrium, where a stairwell joins the 4 atrium wings. Upstairs is your grandmother's laboratory as well as your bedroom. Jude, captchalogue something. Your memory modus is hardly any fun without much stuff in it, so you decide to stock up on fresh produce to fill some more cards. You pick up a juicy red crab apple. You go pick a nice looking key lime, then a delicious mandarin orange. Those are your favorite. And finally, a ripe yellow eureka lemon. Modus fun aside, you feel it is impossible to have too many fresh fruits and vegetables on hand. Jude, go upstairs to bedroom. You almost never use the stairs. You transportalize upstairs. Just above is your room. Jude, ascend. You enter your bedroom. On this side of the room, you are immediately confronted with numerous artifacts highlighting your various interests. You are an avid follower of cartoon shows of considerable nostalgic appeal. You have a profound zeal for marvelous and fantastical fauna of an anthropomorphological persuasion. You have an uncanny knack for nuclear physics, and not infrequently can be found dabbling in rather advanced gadgetry. You enjoy sporadic fits of narcolepsy. Your love of gardening transcends the glass confines of your atrium, and you are at times prone to patterns of precognitive prognostication. You consider very briefly the question, what will you do? But you quickly realize this is only one half of your room and is therefore host to only half your interests to choose from. Over here, there are yet more articles of your aforementioned interests, and then some. Additional telltale signs of your enthusiasm for nostalgic television mingle with your assortment of game-hunting firearms. You are a skilled marksman, though your crosshairs would never settle on an innocent creature, anthropomorphically persuaded or otherwise. Your work table is littered with equipment to facilitate your tinkering. For you, experimentation is not a particularly exact science, and you lean heavily on sharp intuition for consistently and eerily optimal results. Nevertheless, you have still not been able to get that broad, flat gizmo there to work, which is the design you have borrowed from one of your grandma's more mysterious inventions. You are a great admirer of hers, and you are not alone. Your grandmother is a world-renowned explorer, naturalist, treasure hunter, archaeologist, scientist, adventurer, big game hunter, billionaire extraordinaire. She's taught you everything you know. But in spite of all her lessons, it is still difficult to escape her stern lectures when you are on your way out of the house to run your errands. She spends most of her time in the grand foyer, stewing in her own intensity and charisma, and today will likely be no exception. Among the errands you have planned is to venture out to find your pet and best friend named Becquerel. This animal must be fed, and she will not be happy if she is not. And if she is not happy, then you will not be happy, but first you should really dig out your computer and say hi to Joan. Now, what will you do? Jude, quickly retrieve firearms from wall. You equip your trusty hunting rifle. There would be hell to pay if Grandma caught you leaving the house without it. Jude, wonder why the design on your shirt changed. There isn't much to wonder, really. You left the wardrobe afire on its randomization setting. You may contemplate which shirt design you favor the most and commit to that setting in the future. Jude, captchalogue near Squiddle doll and hug it. Just before you can grab one, the powerful electromagnets concealed in their underbellies become activated, and 2 of them get all tangled up with each other playfully. You captchalogue the Tangle Buddies. Jude, lose interest in fauna and never speak of it again. Oh, but you could never do that. What marvelous creatures they are. What a daring dream to combine the finest qualities of humanity with the elegance and nobility of the animal kingdom. How you wish you could know their world. To hear one night those muted paw pads traipse up your stairs. A low but friendly growl unsettles your slumber, and as the soap receives from your eyes, they detect a sharp pair of ears cutting moonlight. A mysterious wolven tongue bites. Wouldn't these ears suit you? Would not this proud, long snout assist you in the hunt? No need to answer. Words sloughed from the busy mind like a useless dead membrane as a more visceral sapience takes over. Something simpler is in charge now. A force untouched by the concerns and burdens of the upright, that farcical yoke the bipedal toe. It now drives you through the midnight brush, your paws whisking through creepers, unearthing with each bold, stomp, bright odors demanding investigation. You eat a weird bug and don't even care. Speaking of which, you pick up and admire one of your manthro chaps. They are wonderful friends and are always cheerful and pleasant fellows. Why, dear Mr. Coxcomb, however will you be received at the Barnyard Gala without the trappings of a proper gentleman? Each manthro chap comes with a number of accessories, including articles of formal attire, a vaccination kit, and a dishwasher-safe slop trough. Jude, organize all your dolls. You gather all your dolls into a rather cozy-looking pile. Jude, change wardrobifier setting. You deactivate the wardrobifier's randomization mode and set it to cycle through these 3 shirt designs. The decision was tough, but you think you came to the best possible conclusion. Jude, look out window. It is another beautiful day in your neighborhood. It is peaceful and quiet as usual. A rather imposing volcano looms over your house, which has been inactive for centuries. Though dormant on the surface, the volcanic activity deep underground provides your house with a source of geothermal power. You're not sure why your grandmother decided to draw from this source of energy when she had the unlimited power of the atom at her disposal, but it has been this way for as long as you can remember. You've chalked it up to your family's long-standing propensity for eclectic fursuits. Wait, you mean pursuits. Jude, retrieve fursuit from magic chest. What is this nonsense about fursuits? You do not own a fursuit. You think anthropomorphic fauna are really cute and enchanting and all, but it has never occurred to you to dress as one. Sure, it is fun to imagine what it would be like to run wild with a pack of wolves or purr and frolic with a litter of kittens, but dressing up as an animal just seems ridiculous. It would still just be a silly boy draped in a raggedy synthetic tuck, you piece of crap, and seriously, who are you trying to kid with that sort of baloney? Anyway, it is not a magic chest, it is your gadget chest, which you have adapted for storing a number of useful gizmos. It is once your oracle's trunk, a gift from your grandmother, of course, and still contains many silly fortune-telling knickknacks, all of which are completely bogus. Jude, open the chest. Among the fortune-telling knickknacks are these items: a crystal ball plus compulsory velvet pillow, a tarot deck, a magic 8-ball, a magic cue ball, and one of your favorite books of all time, Problem Sooth. Among the useful gizmos are, of course, your computer, which you keep inside a fun lunchbox for easy transport, and a couple of gizmos you keep handy so you don't always have to make the long trip to the kitchen. There's a cookalizer for preparing delicious meals, and a refrigerator, a name which clearly is a wacky variation on the much more common household item, the refrigifier. Jude, examine Magic 8-Ball and Magic Cue Ball. These things are stupid and useless. When the Magic 8-Ball isn't being frustratingly ambiguous, its forecast is always wrong. You have tested it numerous times with certain facts you know to be true. This is its reply when you ask if it is your friend Joan's birthday today. See? Stupid! You guess maybe it could be used as a reverse prediction device and always trips the opposite of what it says, but that seems dumb to you. And anyway, the thing gives you a bad vibe. You might consider smashing it, but you are a little superstitious about whatever ominous consequences that might have, even if the occult talisman in question is a cheap piece of garbage. Magic Cue Ball, on the other hand, is said to make predictions with alarming precision and specificity. Unfortunately, it lacks a portal on its surface that allows you to view the prediction. You put both of these pieces of junk back in the box. Jude, Couchalog refrigerator. You take the refrigerator. You might as well grab the cookalizer too. No portable kitchen is complete without it. You take your lunch top too because obviously you're going to be using that pretty soon. Whoops, there goes your flute, but who cares? Jude, feed your friend. Before you go out to feed Beck, you will need to prepare a meal for her. You clear some space on your work table so you can set up your refrigerator and cookalizer. Just for fun, Jude allows you to take a stab at matching the cards to use the gizmos. It doesn't present much of a challenge for him, so he figures he might as well step aside while providing a few generous hints.
No. Warmer. Cooler. Cold. Warmer. Yes. No! Ice cold. Warmer.
You have selected the key lime. Way to go. Try again.
Hot! Wait, no. Cold. Really cold. Frozen fucking tundra.
Take another crack at this. Congratulations! You advance your matching skill to the new level, Yukon Hero, Legacy of the Frostbite Amputee. Jude is beginning to regret breaking the fourth wall for this ill-advised escapade. Okay, one more time. If it were known in advance how terrible you were going to be at this matching game, the author may have given second thought to preparing this cool interactive Flash application. Look at all these fruits on the loose! Good luck trying to settle them down. You just deploy the gadgets yourself. Jude, stick the fruits in the refrigerator to keep them fresh. These fruits are unlikely to become less impedant anytime soon, regardless of where they are stored, but you stick them in anyway. You take a look at the refrigerator's rotary interface. You wonder what she's in the mood for today. Jude, press the steak button. Okay, well, it's a rotary dial, so there are no buttons to press, but whatever, that doesn't really matter. You dial up a thick T-bone steak, which you are sure Becquerel is in the mood for because she is in the mood for steak every day and is never in the mood for anything else. But she does like her steak well cooked. Jude slightly irradiates steak. She does prefer her steak rare after all, but you will not dignify the thought of turning the knob much further because you are not retarded. You captchalogue the irradiated steak and save it for your trip outside. You probably shouldn't waste much more time. You wouldn't want all those nice depleted steak isotopes to settle down. Jude, examine the atomic base by your bed. You wouldn't exactly call it an atomic base, but it is heavily customized to accommodate a high level of musical virtuosity, the perfect instrument for the eclectically spirited. You've tuned the strings way down, of course, because your stumpy arms can't reach the low notes. You switch your eclectic bass to its advanced setting, but you promptly switch it back since obviously it's too complicated to play it in person like this. The default setting is your preferred mode for casual jamming, and since you can't possibly waste enough time playing music, casually jamming is exactly what you're gonna do. Jude, play a hauntingly relaxing bass line.